Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go the Cash App, $ Deem by any means. There go the PayPal at Deem by any means. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated. I'm a different Shakur fan than you is, my guy. Absolutely, man. I get criticized a lot for my takes on the stuff that be going on with Shakur. I feel the same way for Shakur that I feel about Terrence Crawford. Um, they both are two of my favorite fighters. I enjoy watching them fight because I understand. I just love boxing and understand what they bring, like skill wise, just in the ring wise, y'all. What they bring to the table, we all need in boxing. Like it just is what it is, and I just won't lie for Shakur. Unlike a lot of people, because the thing that's disappointing me, y'all, with all the Shakur stuff, I'm watching Shakur fans do the same thing that Devin fans was doing, but they was mad at Devin for doing it. And then when I say that Devin, his last 4 or 5 fights have been better than Shakur Stevenson's last 4 or 5 fights, I'm wrong for saying that. Y'all know I don't like Devin. I like Shakur way, way, way more than I like Devin. I won't lie for him, though. You see how that's not a lie? You see how that's literally not a lie? You know why I say that? Because we all would have appreciated George Kambosos more than this. If he would have announced George Kambosos, we'd have been like, I don't like that fight neither, but at least we know who George Kambosos is. Like, at least we know that he was somewhere running around the stratosphere. Now, I understand that since he got knocked out, he probably couldn't fight this soon, so that's the part I get. But I'm just using Cambozo as an example of what I'm talking about. I want what's best for Shakur. I still think that Shakur Stevenson is special. I still think that Shakur Stevenson is one of the best fighters in boxing. I still think Shakur Stevenson is pound for pound. I still think Shakur Stevenson is one of my favorite fighters, period. I just don't like everything that he's doing outside of the ring. I think he handled this free agency terribly. I think it's a lot of other things he could have done that would have been way better. Because what I won't do, what I mean by a Shakur fan lying and me not being one that's going to lie for him, I'm gonna give you an example. Fighting Joe Corona wouldn't have been no problem, y'all. No problem at all if he would have dominated De Los Santos, knocked him out, and then knocked out Arthur. There still would have been Devin fans that would have criticized this fight, but it would that's it though, because you know what everybody would have said. Well, dang, he did fight De Los Santos, who was a dog. He did sit up there and fight Arthur and dominated him. So it is what it is. Like it would the argument y'all trying to make, you would have been able to make it then. You still would have been wrong though. You literally would have been wrong, and I'm going to get more into it in my video, but it would have been more tolerable. Absolutely, it would have been more tolerable. Shakur Stevenson is coming off of two of the most criticized performances I have seen from any fighter in at least the last 10 years. I can't name somebody who has been criticized for what happened in the ring. Floyd and everybody else, Canelo get criticized for outside of the ring. Shakur Stevenson is in a different position, y'all. Name me the last fighter that was in Shakur Stevenson's situation, y'all, and was criticized in the ring and outside of the ring. And we ain't talking about who he fighting. We talking about him, his performance. Name me the last fighter like that. People said whatever they wanted to say about Terrence Crawford. You want to know one thing I never heard no Earl Spence fan ever say? Bud is boring. Bud is trash. Never. I've never heard that. Bud ain't got no skills. We don't even know if Bud got dog in him. I've never heard no Earl Smith fans said that. They have said a bunch of other things about Terrence Crawford, but I have never heard them say that. You know why? Because that would be a lie. Shakur Stevenson is getting criticized in the ring and outside of the ring. He cannot afford to take another fight that's going to get highly criticized. That is terrible marketing. And I know that's not what's best for him. I don't care what nobody else says, bro. We don't fan the same way. I thought when you're a fan of a team, y'all, you want them to sign good free agents. You want them to have a great record the next year. You want them to go to the conference finals. You want them to get better. This is not, can't nobody convince me that Joe Corona right now in the state where Shakur Stevenson career at is what's best for him. Then they hit me with Dean. Don't nobody want to fight him. I understand that people do not want to fight Shakur Stevenson. Dean wholeheartedly understands that. But that don't make it okay to fight Corona, though, y'all. A guy who is not at 135. A guy who has gotten knocked out in his last fight. A guy who is, this will be his first fight at 135. That is who he is fighting, y'all. He is fighting two guys that's coming off of losses. And guess what? Edwin De Los Santos, that was criticized. So now he got 3 fights in a row that is getting criticized even before. Bro, he was getting criticized for Arthur. Remember? Because he was trying to trash Frank Martin. Let's not act like the Arthur fight was not criticized before it even happened. That's what's best for him? How? How is that what's best for him? How is that what's best for him? You can't convince me of that. Dean, they don't want to fight him. You're not going to convince me Edwin De Los Santos is scared to fight Shakur Stevenson again. I ain't heard Edwin say that. And then y'all try to lie the same guy that y'all say is the best person on his resume. Y'all say Edwin De Los Santos to beat everybody else on Shakur Stevenson's resume. Agree? If you understand, type understand. But y'all don't even want to see it again. And it was a fight that everybody was screaming they want to see again or that Shakur, forget what everybody else says, because Shakur is saying he don't care about the fans. So don't care about the fans now. Forget what everybody else say. You should want to get back because it was and then they say, well, Tank ain't get back with Pitbull. Pitbull versus Tank was exciting, though. You can't. You can't compare that because the one glaring factor you are leaving out of that, go watch that fight and listen to how many oohs and ahs was in the crowd. Then go watch Shakur Stevenson versus De Los Santos. You won't hear too many. That's a big difference. Because they say Gervonta beat Pitbull Cruz when Pitbull Cruz was giving him everything he had. That is the difference. Nobody feels like Edwin De Los Santos was giving Shakur everything he had, or Shakur was giving Edwin De Los Santos everything they had. Nobody feels that way. We fan different, bro. I want what's best for the young man. He should be a pay-per-view star or on his way up there. If Devin is on pay-per-view, Shakur can be on pay-per-view. If David Benavidez is on pay-per-view, Shakur Stevenson can be on. Like, we're not doing this, bro. You can't tell me the guy, bro. He could have took fights at 140. Forget fighting the guy. Like, bro, if it's not a unification fight and it's going to be basically, even though they saying it's a defense, but he didn't even really need to do that. Why? Because the pay to his mandatory stepped out the way. So he didn't owe anything to defend his title right now. He didn't have to do that right now. He could have fought guys at 140. Frank Martin available. He could have took a quick fight at 140 because Shakur is the only person nobody talked about Shakur not going to taking a fight at 140 and ain't fighting Devin and all this, that, and third. Devin is still suspended or whatever. Devin is retired. I think Devin is still suspended. Don't mark me my words on that. People talking about why they ain't send Devin a contract. I think Devin is suspended still. So it's just amazing to me, y'all. Like, it's so many other fighters at 135 and 140 that Shakur could afford. That was a better look. Edwin De Los Santos is a better look than Cordina. We're not going to act like he's not. I don't want to hear that he was at PBC. Rayhad's season last co-main with 2 PBC fighters. I don't want to hear any of that, bro. Nobody at 140 and 135 wanted to fight Shakur. Nobody. I don't believe that, though. You can believe that. Do I believe Shakur is duck? Yes, for the same reasons as I keep telling y'all that he's special and good. But guess what? One person he ain't say duck him is the only person I care about that ducks him. Because those same guys that he is saying is ducking him are the same exact guys that are ducking Gervonta Davis. So it doesn't matter. It's null and void. Y'all both getting ducked. So what does it matter who y'all both are getting ducked? But that has nothing to do with y'all two. Shakur Stevenson ain't say that Gervonta Davis is ducking him. Actually, he said the opposite. But then y'all want me to sit up there and make content coming at Gervonta Davis saying that he's the one that's not asking for the fight when Shakur Stevenson himself says the man is not ducking him. I keep asking all the Earthmen in the background one question. If Gervonta Davis, if PBC never talked to Shakur Stevenson again, how would he know that Gervonta Davis is not ducking him? I'm going to ask you again. If he didn't talk to PBC, then how would he possibly know that Gervonta Davis is not ducking him? Because he said he was ducking him before, but then before that, he said he wasn't ducking him. So, but I'm supposed to say stuff that Shakur is not even saying. I want y'all to think about all of these Earthmen, y'all. They want me to say something that the fighter. I'm sorry, yo. Yo. Damn.